are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your monthly subscriptions. They are greatly appreciated. If you're interested in subscribing monthly, you can go to patreon.com and look up Angle Guys and choose a monthly subscription over there. If you're interested in a private reading, you can message me at the Facebook business page. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. And for those of you that are watching this over on the Facebook business page, please feel free to hit the like button, follow the business page. You can also go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe over there too if you want to cross platform so that you are aware whenever I go live. This is the forecast for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of December of 2020. So this is a broad spectrum reading for anybody with sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Sagittarius. We are in Sagittarian season, so that's why we're kicking off with the Sages. Hey, Stephen Davidson, and hey, Sue, how are you guys? Happy Food Coma Day to you two from Minnesota. Oh, well, I'm not in Minnesota, but thank you for that. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. I am going to turn off the chat here in a moment. You guys can chat. I'll leave the window up, but I'll have it down on my screen so you guys can chat amongst each other, but I won't be able to see your comments. So as I was saying, this is for anybody with a sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Sagittarius. So if you're interested, if you have those placements or heavily placed planets in Sag, right? You might want to watch this because it will give you an indication of what you might be experiencing this month. These are loose sort of readings in the sense like take what you need and leave the rest. If you make any decisions in your personal life after having watched this video, those decisions are your own personal responsibility. Please do not take anything I say over, the direct advice of any sort of professional, lawyer, doctor, any of that sort of stuff. And let's see what we've got going on for the Sages this season. This November. God, November just flew by. Oh, you know what? I'm shuffling the wrong deck. I'm a ding-dong. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to finish shuffling this and then I'll shuffle. Leave it to me, Dan. Wake up! It's kind of cold here today, so it's sort of like hibernation weather in a way. All right, that feels good for the Sages. Let's see here. Let me cut the deck. Okay. And now let me shuffle the deck I was supposed to start with. Ding-dong. Hello. Happy Thanksgiving, Judy. How are you? Hi, Leslie Ann. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, happy birthday, Leslie Ann. Hey, Debbie Hartley. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving. So I'm going to certainly get all of the fire signs done today. I am going to try and maybe do 6 of the signs because I'm kind of running behind. Like the end of the month just sort of snuck up on me. I had a house guest and things like that, so that sort of also... I didn't get to the horoscopes, the Tarotscopes as soon as I would like. Alright, what does Sagittarius need to know? Moon and rising. Who is their guide this month? So the deck that I'm using as the signifier for this month is the Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. I just felt drawn to this deck this morning. I kind of feel like because we're in the month of December, we're celebrating the holidays. Certainly that brings in the aspect of the ancestors, right? As far as our family members, both living and past. Those on this side of the veil and those on the other side of the veil. So I wanted to bring that energy in. I also sort of felt like Angels and Ancestors felt like a nice kind of way to close out the year for all of the signs. It's sort of like who's guiding us this month? Who do we need to be in contact with? What do we need to reflect upon for the end of the year as we cycle out of 2020 and go into 2021? So let's see what is the signifier for Sagittarius. Okay, really weak cut there, Sag. All right, so we've got the Shaman card. I really like this. It says trust in higher forces. So what I'm going to say about this card really quick is, even though this is more of an alchemical symbol, to me it first immediately made me think of a clock and time. And then the wisdom of the owl is up above his crown chakra, which says to me, like, don't, if my Sages are a little bit obsessed with timing of things, if we're a little bit worried, to me, it's sort of like relax. This trust in higher forces speaks to the idea of going with the flow, trusting your own higher knowing, trusting your own intuition, coming from that place of that sort of, I want to say like more evolved self. This is the energy that you want to be tapping into, or the guides. You know, I also believe that with shaman here, this is our own higher self, right? Trust in higher forces. We don't have to put everything to spirit, right? We don't have to put everything to another thing outside of ourselves. I almost feel like this is Sag within themselves, calling in their own higher self, their own higher knowledge, their own wisdom, just remaining calm through the month of December. If any of you are stressing out or dealing with things that maybe, you know, uh, I don't know why I keep seeing this as like a clock to me. I know it's not a clock, but it feels like a clock. Like if Sag is obsessed with deadlines, getting things done in a certain way or time frame, it's kind of got that vibe to me. It's sitting right in front of his body, and the body, it's sitting in front of the body makes me think about it's something in the material world for the Sages. Like if you're placing this pressure on yourself, or if you're worrying about, you know, do I have enough time? Will I be able to get it done in time? Will I be able to finish it before the end of the year? That sort of a vibe, whatever it may be for each and every one of you. This speaks to this idea of trusting that higher wisdom within you, not backing off of what you're working on, but backing off of the worry, backing off of the fear, and residing more in that faith, in that uh, kind of trust or belief that you can do it. I also love these bells on the antlers. To me, this feels like the voices will come, or the instincts will kick in, the sounds will happen. From the jingle of these bells, to me, it's making me think of like, intuitively, we're just going to know when the time is right. Intuitively, we're just going, it's going to kick on, and, or, uh, the sort of the call will be sounded. I don't know if that makes any sense, Sag, but it will let you know, and you will be able to hear it. Do not fear. That's also this trust in higher forces, right? Whether those higher forces are you yourself, or your guides around you, your angels around you. There's a strong sort of psychic energy and awareness this month. Okay, it is your season too, so that's great. Channel that and enjoy it. All right, so let's look at the first card. This is your center. This is where you're centered at most of the month. You'll go in and out of this card. It's not a, you know, it's not a static card. It fluctuates and changes, but this gives me an idea of what you could be creating throughout the month and potentially for the future. So, okay, the deck's upside down. Let's flip it right side up. All right, so we've got the Emperor. The Emperor is always benevolent. He's loving. You can't cut corners with the Emperor, right? He always expects kind of the most out of himself. So to me, it feels like the expectation may be high with Sag. That also might be some of this timing thing that we see here. This Sag might be a little bit hard on themselves right now, or trying to push themselves to finish things out before the end of the year. But try and trust in your own abilities and the sort of the universe, or what your guides and inspirers are doing for you right now. The Emperor speaks to that idea of being sort of solid in who you are. It is a card number 4, which speaks to stability. Expect the best, Sag, and allow it to come to you. Allow it, like, trust in that. Settle into that. This Emperor is seated in his chair, right? He's not actively going out and forcing it to happen. He kind of expects it, and it comes to him. So I kind of feel like this is a good card, although the Emperor does carry a little bit of responsibility on his shoulders, and that's sort of the clock that I'm seeing in Shaman. Trust that everything will work out in the way that it's supposed to is sort of the vibe that I'm getting. You'll know when to take the action. Again, that's those bells sort of on these antlers to me, I feel like, and there's also the wisdom of this owl at his crown. You're going to know when to take flight. You're going to know when to move forward. The indications will be there, the sounds or the bells will ring when the time is right to make the move, or to take the step, or to do whatever it is that you need to do this month. All right, the next card is the Foundation card. This is sort of the card from the past that tells me a little bit about why things are the way that they are today. And it can be also the memory of this card that sort of holds things in place or drives things along in the present. Wow, okay, Sag, you're like kicking off in a big way. So another major arcana, you have the card, the Hermit. This is the sign of Virgo, right? We're talking Earth, we're talking grounded. I like that, or the Earth is here in the foundation space, right? Um, because to me, Earth and Foundation definitely are in line with one another. This being such a strong card, I feel like this is also the foundation with which we sit in the Emperor's seat this month, right? The Hermit is always about kind of going inward, trusting one's own sort of internal knowledge, gaining that sort of knowledge by taking time to have conversations with oneself, be it emotionally, spiritually, mentally, but really understanding that working, how we work, why we work, what we know to be true. When we look at this in the past, you guys may have been a little bit withdrawn, maybe not wanting to be seen, maybe working on your own sort of plans or paths. And I feel like now this Emperor sits in this seat in the center, willing to sort of be seen, be heard, put their expectations out into the world, and kind of allow for them to come to them. Does that make sense? So making decisions more, how do I want to say this? Like more externally. Also, that would be the Aries energy of the Emperor, right? Taking action, doing sort of, making statements, being clear on what you want, expecting the highest order in the best way possible. All of that is being supported by this energy of the Hermit, which to me, again, Virgo energy, very manifestational, very productive and palpable. Having done the hard work or been through a long season of maybe solitary confinement, which we've all sort of been in with this pandemic, but you guys have really maybe used this time hopefully to your advantage. That would be the idea of the Hermit. You've gone in, you've done some internal work, you understand sort of where you're at. There is this aspect too, when I look at this gentleman, he's communing with the moon. He's talking to his more shadow self, his subconscious self, his more intuitive awareness. And from that, I think that's also the trust in the higher forces that we see in this shaman card, right? You can't, well, I don't want to say just yet, but I kind of want to say, I kind of want to say the Sagittarius, you can't make a wrong decision this month, even if it feels that way, or you're scared that you might. That clock sitting in front of the body, just, it to me, that this is also probably some sort of a protection, but I don't feel like Sag feels protected. I feel like this weird angst from this symbol in front. It keeps taking me to this place of clock, running out of time, worry. Don't in the material world, don't allow that to overtake you. Is my feeling, or what I feel like shaman is trying to take you through this month is trust in what you know to be true. That would be the essence of Hermit, also in the essence of Emperor, really. And if the expectations are placed outward on others, that's fine. If they're also placed outward or towards yourself, like high expectations of yourself, that's okay. But be mindful that you have to. There's this aspect of the shaman card, which is about trusting that it will all work out in its due course, the way that it's supposed to. It's sort of the vibe that I'm getting. And I like that we have these two really strong cards kicking off this reading. Now, the next card is the higher self or the soul card. It tells me a bit about what your higher self or soul is working on right now. So this is the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is about, to me, it can be about indecision. Cups is the element of water. It can be the emotions, certainly. Fours, I love because it's stability. We have a four reflected here in the Emperor, right? I'm going to put this up here, sorry. And we're also in a 4 year, 2020, so we're ending out on a 4. When you take 2 and 2, that becomes a 4, which is all about, I think that things had to become unstable this year so that we could get back to stability. And we'll be working towards that stability through 2021, but we had to destabilize in an effort to get restabilized, is sort of how I'm seeing the energy of 2020. Now, when I look at this in the higher self space, to me, there's some sorting, some choices that need to be made. Choices that might lead Sagittarius towards a better stability, a better understanding of what it is that they want. Committing to that, maybe emotionally, that's going to be maybe a bit of a challenge, or sorting through some of the emotions. I do feel like when I'm looking at this Four of Cups up in the spirit space for Sag, there might be a little bit of worry about getting emotionally I don't want to say entrapped or caught up, but there is this sort of, sometimes the Four of Cups can represent boredom, but I don't feel like you guys are bored. I feel like it's more like, I don't know how emotionally invested I want to get. I don't know how, let me see here. I just sort of feel like with the Hermit underneath and the Emperor as the center, there is this sort of detachment with the Emperor, right? He has to keep things kind of clean, clear, uh, above board, so to speak. So when I look at this Four of Cups, it's like we might, our soul wants us to make a choice. Our soul wants us to find this emotional stability. Will we be able to do that this month? I don't know. That's kind of the feeling, because I'm getting this distinct vibe that Sag might be resistant to wanting to do this work. That could also be this trust in higher forces, like trusting in your own spirit, that it will be okay to kind of find uh, some trust in your own emotions and what it is you want, what it is you desire, and kind of choosing that and heading towards that to create that emotional stability in your space. I almost feel like with that Hermit down in the foundation, that things maybe haven't felt so stable or emotional. Not, I don't want to say emotionally stable, but they have. It's been like a lot of work internally that has brought you to this space of the Emperor, and you don't really want to risk it by challenging it too much. And that's where this Four of Cups comes in. But I feel like it being in the soul space says, make a choice, Sag. Find stability in your emotions. Don't avoid it completely. Trust in it and see where it sort of takes you. That's kind of the feeling I get. The next two cards are the outside influences affecting you during the month of December. They could be either positive or negative. They can be people, sometimes events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that could be affecting you. So let's see what's going on here. So we have the Six of Wands. So the Wands is fire energy, which is definitely Sag's gig for sure. And I feel like the Emperor could definitely work with that Wands energy. I just want to look at Six of Wands. 1 second. Because I feel like this is something coming to my Sages. I don't know why. But I want to make sure because I'm drawing a blank. Okay, yeah, it says success and victory, future good news. Okay, to me it feels like I'm more captivated by these two gentlemen on these horses. Do you see this? They look like they're coming straight for that Emperor. Like, not in a bad way. Like, they're like this. I almost want to say that this feels like this could be new business dealings. This could be new opportunities. And I think that I totally get a feeling, because the Emperor sitting there in the center, that the Six of Wands is approaching the Emperor to bring him whatever it is that he expects. The expectation needs to be sort of a high order, if that makes any sense. Sixes also sort of represent the things being brought back into balance after the change that happens and takes place in a number 5 card. In the art here, it's kind of bizarre, but so I feel like something good is coming for my Sages. I want to say it's not necessarily materially, but this feels material to me, even though it's a Wands card. It almost feels like a Pentacles energy. So be on the lookout for that. And also, I would say this: make sure that no corners are being cut or easy way out sort of thing, which I don't think that there is. But with this Emperor energy in the center, we want to be aware of all of the ins and outs, all of the workings of what's going on as best we can, and keep those expectations high. Don't let people pull any fast ones. I don't feel like anybody is going to, but that is a definite sort of, to me, an temperament of the Emperor, and we want to make sure that we kind of go through everything with a sort of fine-tooth comb. It's funny that I'm telling you to do that, yet Shaman says trust the higher forces. But it's like you also have to be in that seat of the Emperor where you're in control and in charge and making the decisions this month. And I think that you also have to trust in yourself, your own higher self, and what you know to be true. Although that Four of Cups feels like you don't. Like, emotionally, you may not trust yourself, Sag. But that's okay. Like, you'll get there. All right, so let's see what the other outside influence is. Oh, shit. Okay, so we've got the Devil. I feel like y'all feel conflicted, Sages. What are you fucking doing? All right, so With the devil over there, the devil's going to show us wherever we are lacking, or wherever we are, potentially a slave to something that's maybe not to our highest good, right? The devil isn't a bad card per se. He shows us where our Achilles heel is, right? He's going to show us where we need to work on stuff, and probably show us in a very big way, right? With the devil as an outside influence, I almost feel like Sag has an option here. And I'm going to explain why I feel this. The Six of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Devil all around that Emperor feels like they're... The Devil on the opposite hand speaks to being stuck in whatever we've been maybe facing, dealing with, limiting ourselves by, this could be, for some of you, addictions of some sort. If it's too much food, too much sex, too much booze, allowing fear to pervade our lives, right? Allowing worry to take over. This could be things like anxieties or self-doubt. These are things where the devil doesn't want us to sort of push ourselves, right? He wants to keep hold of us. He wants to sort of bring us all kinds of fuckery so that we have to stay stuck, right? He's there to teach us a lesson. He's not a bad dude, so to speak, but he is also can be time consuming and a real right pain in the ass. Let's just say that. And so it's like there's a little bit of hard work to be done. And I feel like the choice here is, it's almost like I feel like that devil card is whispering like, where the Four of Cups feels to me like it's tied to this Six of Wands in sort of making a decision to go after the thing that you want and that you desire that could bring you success, and you're maybe afraid to do it. The devil feels like, to me, it's whispering, don't take those cups. Just stay where you are. Everything's fine. Keep things the way that they are. And that's the part where I think that this Emperor in the center is going to have to decide what the expectations are of ourselves this month, and either choose to live up to them or choose not to. Now, the Hermit underneath speaks to spending time alone and going inward and finding answers. Foundation of this, I kind of hear this phrase, the devil has two sort of meanings here, in the sense that we can use the knowledge that we've gained in the last year of spending time by ourselves and getting to know ourselves to propel us forward, or we can also use it to retreat back and stay in what's comfortable. And the devil's kind of here knocking at the door going, okay, let's keep you trusting the higher instincts. Are you trusting the higher forces and moving forward? Even if it may not feel all that familiar or comfortable, right? There's opportunity here, especially with the Emperor in the center. But I kind of feel like, and I'm just going to throw this out there, I kind of feel like that Emperor is going to have to make a decision, and when he does, it's going to have a huge effect. Whether you choose to stay, I don't know, it's weird, like, whether you choose to dance with the devil and stay captivated by and stuck there, or you choose to move forward with the Six of Wands. Either way, it's going to have a significant impact in the month of December. All right, this last card is the potential outcomes for the month. This tells me sort of where the majority of the Sagittarius will end up, barring that nothing major changes, right? But this card is not set in stone, so if this is something that we see as a negative card, we can use it as a warning and make choices and changes now to affect the outcome, right? But if it's something that's positive, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards it. And so we don't have to do much to change it. We just kind of need to trust our instincts and keep moving forward. Wow, okay, we've got the twin flame situation for some of you. For some of you, this could be about finding just a deeper love and a dedication to your own spirit and what it is that you deserve and what it is that you need, and chasing after that. I love that this Four of Wands, we're heading more towards this Six of Wands energy, which is also more in line with that the fire element of Sag, the taking action, the following our spiritual desires, the following of our what it is we need, that we want, that it's going to bring us albeit a little bit challenging, it's going to bring us sort of a bigger payoff, a bigger exposure to something new versus staying sort of stuck in this maybe devil energy, or in the aspects of the hermit where we stay in place, we stay firmly. The sign of Aries can be a little bit feeling impulsive or dangerous in a way, but to me, I think that the Emperor is also sort of like the benevolent father, right? It might feel impulsive, but we make the choice and we go after the thing that is being brought to us that is not to be passed up. That is the Six of Wands. Whatever this may be, whether it's, you know, the idea of love, or it's the idea of new business, whatever it may be, it's being brought to us this month. That, like, what we do in this month is the vibe that I'm getting is you know, this Six of Wands that's coming, or in transit towards us in the month of December, is going to open up sort of doors like this Four of Wands that starts to set up a whole new year of events, or a series of events that could be quite, you know, beneficial and certainly in line with who we are and what we desire. But sometimes our desires are fearful, like we can be fearful of our desires, or we, you know, this clock here to me speaks to, do I have enough time? Can I do it? Can I pull it off? Can I really make this happen? Indeed you can, right? The shaman is like powerful medicine, right? He knows, he's connected in more ways than he understands even. You know, like, I mean, obviously the shaman understands that, but maybe than we understand at the like egoic or mind level. But we need to sort of channel that energy, trust it, and feel it. And that's the beginning to feel it in that Four of Cups. I hope that makes sense, Sag. It is your birthday season. I think that this is a really good reading. I think that it's a really exciting reading. I think that there's a lot of opportunity. But you're going to have to make a choice and a commitment of some